All right, Nikki, I'm giving you a pair of my brown boots that I really like, but they are in desperate need of polishing, and this is what I used, but it didn't really do a good job. So I think you have something better that you want to show everybody?
Oh yes, we're going to bring back a lost art today. Like I said, if you were of any kind of occupation where you had to dress up for the office or in the military, one of the most important things was the shiny shoe that was on your foot. So now we're going to restore these boots just like they came out of 9 West. Take this back. In fact, throw it away. I don't even want to see it no more. And now, the most important thing about shining your shoes is, number one, the brushes that you use. Whether that's to buff them, apply the polish, and you have 2 types. You've got nylon, which is good for cleaning off the dirt, which is what we're going to do here right now with the boot I have in my hand.
All right, I'm going to give a close-up so that everybody can see how damaged they are.
And this is the nylon brush. And we're going to take off all the surface dust and dirt on one and the other. Of course, you can see the heels and the soles are in good shape. We just have to bring the leather back to life. And being a bachelor, how women walk in these things, I'll never know. But that's for another video. Now, we're going to get the other brush that we use for the buffing and the polishing, which is made from horsehair. And you can see, horsehair is a natural product, comes from the animal. And if you can see it on this brush, it says 100% horsehair. And this is what we're going to use to buff the boots up to a shine after we apply the polish with the stiff brush, which is right here.
I like how you have everything in a cigar box.
Oh yes, the most useful things in a man's life is a tobacco can and a cigar box once the contents are completely empty. They're always used for something. Nuts, bolts, screws, tools, brushes, and you can see the brushes that we use to apply the polish are small and round.
Okay.
Now, when you're using your shoe polish, you can either go with neutral, which is clear, or the color of the shoe, brown, black, oxblood, red, which will give a little bit more color back to the leather. So I've got the neutral shoe polish here, but we're not going to use that because these boots are kind of scuffed up in the front, so we want to try to bring them back to life. So we're going to use the brown.
Where do you buy all this stuff?
Oh, I had this stuff for years.
But if someone wanted to buy it today, can they buy
I'm sure
it?
you could go to any, like a Walmart or a Rite Aid or CVS.
Probably
or
Amazon.
Amazon, you get it online.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get the polish and put it on the brush. And being that these shoes have been neglected for quite some time, we're not going to skimp on the polish. We're going to apply it generously and liberally and let it suck into the leather, which is a natural thing.
All right, I'm
and
going to
as
get
you can
close
see,
up.
as you can see, as I'm working the polish in here, I want to get it into all the scratch and scuff marks. And by the way, as you can see, I'm in work clothes because this is a dirty, labor-intensive job. And if you get some of this polish on your clothing, you might stain it. So if you're doing this and you're worried about getting something that you're wearing soiled or stained, that the stain won't come out, just put like an apron or a smock on or some old clothes that would be inconsequential. If you got the polish,
So you have to rub it in?
yes, you have to work the polish into the leather.
How much is enough? How much is too much?
Well,
How
you
do
know,
you gauge?
you wouldn't let the condition of the shoe be your guide.
So as long as you see a darkening, you're in good shape?
Yes.
Okay.
In other words, we want this to get into the leather. And one of the conditions of leather is the older and the drier it gets, the more thirsty it becomes. So it's a good idea if you want to keep your shoes for a long time and in good condition to polish them every now and then, and just don't wait for them to get, beyond the point of no return.
So don't do like me, and because you didn't have to go into an office for 2 years because of COVID, just let them sit in the,
Exactly. Because leather is a natural product, and age, humidity, the conditions that they're in, affects everything. And we're going to do one boot at a time, liberally applying the polish, because we want it to go into the leather.
John, how are you doing with your gas tank rust removal project?
Well, I figured I wouldn't interrupt right now, and you guys are busy.
All right.
I want to hear a drill in the background, right?
Yes, this is what's called multitasking.
Yeah.
I said we were a family of many DIYers and many projects happening at the same time, and we are not lying.
That's so true. My immigrant father said nobody's going to do nothing for you better or cheaper than you could do it for yourself. And you'll know it'll get done and done right.
That is true. Can't agree more. That's why we all get along so well.
Yeah, I know, that might sound a little archaic and mid-Victorian, but that's just the kind of hairpins we are. Now we're working on the second boot. We want to go in the front liberally with the polish because that's where the scuff marks were.
Learn something every day. I never
We
seen
can.
this done before.
Well, why we wanted to do this video was because I actually had to go to an event for my company, and I had to pull out shoes and boots I didn't have to worry about for 2 years, and I realized how damaged and dried and scuffed they were. And so Nick said he had an antidote for it, came over with this and turned my black shoes into like brand new looking specimens, and
Like
John
they just
was
came
amazed.
like they just came out of 9 West.
And we said, wow, this is a video. And so he's back now to show everybody what he did. And so once you have this all soaked in, Nikki, you have to give it a little time to sort of...
Yes, let it absorb itself in.
All right, so we'll stop here because it's kind of like watching paint dry at this point. And then we'll pick it back up when it's time.
Okay, so you can see the shoes got the polish on them, and this is what we use to apply the polish. You can see over here, let's do a close-up. It says Esquire Executive Shoe Dauber, made in USA. Quite a novelty these days, since everything else seems to be made everywhere else. But
And how old is that?
I don't care to say because I'll be giving away my age. Okay, so now that the shoes have got the polish on them, the polish had a chance to set in, it's time to remove the polish and brush the shoe. So we're going to use these 2 stiff Bristol brushes.
Why 2?
Well, this one is more coarse and this one is more soft. So we're going to take off the polish first with the coarse and then with the soft.
Okay.
So I'm going to put the shoe in my hand, and as you can see, the brush is not moving because we're buffing the wax
Wow, I can already see a difference.
into the grain of the leather.
Unbelievable, I already see a difference.
And the more wax you take off,
So
the better the brush slides.
And what's the pressure you're putting on?
Just whatever I'm using on my wrist.
Hand pressure?
Yep. We're not going to go extravagant on this. Okay, so we took off the first layer of polish that we worked into the leather with the stiffer Bristol brush. And now we're gonna let this set over here. So this kind of like dries up a bit. And we're gonna do the exact same thing to the other shoe. Notice the scuff marks and the discoloration of the leather have practically disappeared. If you ever watch any of the old movies, you'll see that at every train station, bus depot, barbershop, newsstand, cigar store, they always had a chair for a boot black. Because back then, you know, it was a different era and people took quite a pride in their appearance. Rich or poor, famous and infamous. Now you don't see too much of that anymore.
Didn't they even make a reference of it in the Goodfellas movie? Didn't they say Joe Pesci used to shine shoes when he was a little kid?
Well, yes, that's true. That was, you know, selling shoes, selling newspapers, shining shoes, selling newspapers. Yeah, that was an occupation for the immigrant poor of a bygone era.
Just before he killed bats, right? I think they were making fun of him because he was a shoe shine boy back in the day.
Okay, now we use the stiffer Bristol brush and we have the two shoes here. This is the one I just did and this is the one that I did before. Now we're going to use the softer brush.
Okay.
And you can see this actually moves a lot more easier on the leather because the leather is smoother and more supple. And the more we do this, the more we bring out the shine.
So it's almost like a sawing action, back and forth, seesaw.
Yeah.
Back
In
and
other
forth,
words,
back
we
and forth.
want to work the brush on the shoe, and we have to move with the contour of the shoe because, you know, all shoes are configured differently. Here's the first one. Now this, you could see this is a little bit more shinier than this.
Let me get close up. Yeah?
And now we're going to work on this one with the softer Bristol brush. And believe it or not, the more you shine your shoes, the more preserved the leather becomes. You shouldn't let your shoes, especially if they're good shoes, get to the point of no return.
No spraying yet.
And I have different sets of polish and brushes for different shoes. We would not want to use a black brush on a brown shoe and vice versa.
I'm telling John not to spray because he's getting ahead of us over here. We're doing two things at once. But
See, this is my brown shoe polish kit,
Brand new.
yeah,
and this is my black shoe polish kit.
so you keep them in separate,
Cigar boxes, yeah.
nice. All right, let's do a close up. Are you done with the shoes?
No, I'm
Are
not
we
done
ready
with
for,
the shoes.
oh, okay.
Now we have to go through the finishing step. We already polished it once with the coarse. We already did it once with the medium.
Okay.
Now, we're gonna go with a fine brush, which is the one I showed you in the beginning.
Okay. And we're just telling John to halt because he's getting ahead of us. He's done shaving all the rust off of his gas tank and he wants to spray it, but I told him to wait because we're almost done here.
And you can see, as I polish this with the softest one, the shine is becoming more and more pronounced. You'll be able to make the
Yeah,
comparison.
look at that.
As I put it next to the shoe that I haven't done yet with this brush.
You know, it's too bad we probably should have just done one shoe so that we could have had a compare and contrast. But maybe
So
I'll
true.
do that for the picture that we use.
Okay. Put this one back. See how much shinier this one is from here. And now we're going to do this one. No, we're not done yet. This is a natural lamb's wool shoe polisher. This is actually the skin with the wool off a lamb.
Wow.
You can see it's leather.
Let me get a close up.
Here's the leather. There's the fur of the lamb. And we'll get a close-up of this. Now I'm going to give away my age. Years ago when I was a kid, there was a magazine called Good Housekeeping. And if something met the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, they allowed the company to use their trademark on their thing. So now we're going to take this and we're going to buff this up for the extra glossy shine that we always like to see on everything we wear. Oop.
Yeah, runaway brush.
Runaway brush. Now,
Wow,
you can
what a
see how
difference. I can see.
from
Hopefully it
here to
comes
here,
through on the camera because I can see the big difference in,
in the luster.
yep. Hopefully it comes through with the camera. Athena, you watching Uncle Nicky polish shoes? Do you want him to polish you next? Would you like your brown coat to be polished also? You want to go give him a kiss? You could go give him a kiss. You could go in the camera and give him a kiss.
Come here, Athena. Come here. Oh, by the way, this is Athena.
There she is. She gave
And
her
like
Uncle Nicky a
all
kiss.
beautiful blonde, she demands a lot of attention. Okay, and voila.
All right.
2 brand new pairs of shoe boots for my sister
Beautiful
to make a
shine.
cameo appearance in her office.
Thank you, Nikki. Awesome.
Now you can see my hands got dirty, my
Yeah.
pants are dirty. This is not for the faint of heart. So if you want to polish your shoes, put like an apron on or maybe a piece of cloth over you, or just wear inconsequential clothing you don't want to worry about getting dirty.
All right.
Or
Thanks,
polish
Nick.
on them.
Awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure.